Internal Revenue Service IRS tax news. Treasury and IRS released draft partnership form to provide greater clarity on international tax reporting. IR 2020-155, July 14, 2020, Washington. The Treasury Department and the IRS today released a proposed redesigned partnership form for tax year 2021, filing season 2022. The proposed form is designed to provide greater clarity for partners on how to compute their U.S. income tax liability with respect to items of international tax reliance, including claiming deductions and credits. The redesigned form and instructions provide guidance to partnerships on how to report international tax information to partners in a standardized format. This proposed form will apply to partnerships required to file Form 1065 only if the partnership has items of international tax relevance, generally foreign activities or foreign partners. The proposed change would not affect domestic partnerships and no international tax items to report. So they're making a change to the partnership form. So if you have a partnership where you have information for foreign entities, might be more useful to give that information, provide that information to the partnership return, and then be able to provide that in like a flow-through format, typically the partnership then flowing through to the individual tax returns with the K-1s. Back to the text, this early release is intended to afford time for stockholders' input and engagement. So if you want to have engagement related to this form, then take a look at it. If this is an issue related to you, might help to solve some problems. You might have some input and questions related to it. Treasury and IRS invite comments from affected stockholders through September 14, 2020. That's affected stakeholders. So the Treasury and IRS invite comments from affected stakeholders through September 14, 2020. Written comments should be sent to the following email. There's a link to that here. I won't read it out. There's a link to that here. There'll be a link to this in the description with the subject line International Form Changes. The Treasury Department and the IRS will be actively engaged. There's a link to actively engage with stakeholders to solicit input on these proposed changes before the forms are finalized later in 2020. Currently, partners are required to report international tax information on their tax returns on several tax forms and schedules. Partners generally obtain the information required to be reported from their partnership, usually through narrative statements attached to K-1s. So we have these narrative statements that are going to give this needed information attached to the K-1. That's going to be the typical way it is thus far. Those statements are compiled in a variety of formats and may be difficult for partners to translate into their own returns. The proposed changes intend to ease this burden through a standard format that offers greater clarity to both partnerships and their partners. So instead of having, this narrative statement, if we can standardize the process, it would make it a bit easier for people to look at because they would know what to expect in terms of the standard format. The standard format of the new partnership schedule is designed to better align the information that partnership provide on the schedules with the tax forms used by partners, allowing partners to more easily prepare their tax returns and the IRS to more efficiently verify taxpayer compliance. It is intended that all information to be reported on the new schedules is already necessary for the partnership to provide to partners or is available to the partnership. So they're basically saying, hey, this is something you already need to be providing. We want to make it easier to provide it by making a more standardized format to do so. That's my interpretation, at least. The Treasury Department and the IRS are releasing the draft new. There's a link to that here. Schedule K2, Form 1065, Partners Distributive Share Items, International, and Schedule K3, Form 1065, Partner Share of Income, Deductions, Credits, etc., International, both for tax year 2021, filing season 2022, and the draft instructions to allow partnerships and other stakeholders time to consider the proposed changes and to provide comments that can be taken into account in finalizing the schedules and instructions. The proposed parts included in the new Schedule K2, Form 1065, replace portions of existing Form Schedule K, lines 16A through 16R. The proposed schedule provides for international tax information to be reported in a standardized manner rather than generally corresponding to the tax forms listed above. The proposed part included to the new Schedule K3, Form 1065, replaces portions of Schedule K1, Part 3, boxes 16 and 20, and provides information to the partner generally in the format of the following forms that might be completed by the partner. Form 1040, U.S. Individual Income Tax Return. Form 1040 NR, U.S. Non-Resident Alien Income Tax Return. Form 1116, Foreign Tax Credit Individual Estate or Trust. Form 1118, Foreign Tax Credit Corporations. Form 1120, U.S. Corporation Income Tax Return. Form 1120F, U.S. Income Tax Return of a Foreign Corporation. Form 4797, Sales of Business Property. Form 8949, Sale of Other Dispositions of Capital Assets. Form 8991, Tax on Base Erosion Payments of Taxpayers with Substantial Gross Receipts. Form 8992, U.S. Shareholder Calculation of Global Intangible Low Taxed Income, GILTI, and Form 8993, Section 250, Deduction for Foreign Derived Intangible Income, FDII, and Global Intangible Low Tax Income, GILTI. The Treasury Department and IRS plan similar revisions as applicable to Form 1120S, U.S. Income Tax Return for an S Corporation. So you got similar needs, you would think, there. For the S Corporation, also a flow-through type of entity, typically, which could have foreign ownership of it in terms of the shareholders. And Form 8865, Return of U.S. Persons with respect to certain foreign partnerships. The Treasury Department and the IRS welcome comments on similar changes to be made to Form 1120S and 8865 for 2021 tax years. So if you're looking at these changes saying, hey, I got some advice on the 1120S then as well, when you're looking to those changes, then you can give them that advice as well at that time.